Hey guys, this is White Wolf, and I wanted to make this video. It's okay to be you. You got this. It's okay. Just be Zen. Just be in your own space of energy. Just be yourself and never sacrifice your alignment for someone else, for anything, for your job, for anything that you want to create in your life. Just know that when you go by that resonance and you go by that connection, that helps you become more transparent with yourself, more honest with yourself, have accountability, and hold yourself to a specific standard that allows you to be connected to everything that you want to represent and be a part of. So sometimes you have to allow yourself to change. You have to allow yourself to grow and you have to allow yourself to really sink in and understand that maturity comes with the very fact that we help ourselves design a life of our own choosing, of our own connection, of our own resonance. So we allow ourselves to see that if we connect into what we are and who we are and what we want to be and who we want to display as we are being channeled within this existence, what questions are we going to ask and how do we really allow ourselves to open up to a different space of energy, a different space of just being Zen, of just being yourself, knowing that you got this, knowing that you don't know how it's going to happen, knowing that you don't know how it's supposed to grow and how it's supposed to connect. Sometimes that is the pinnacle of really finding out that taking a chance on something, finding something that you believe in, finding something that has you have devotion and dedication and connection to the things that you want to be a part of and the things that you want to express within oneself. So when you give yourself the ability to see that everything has to have a sense of repetition, a sense of responsibility, a sense of work, and a sense of choice, and a sense of action, and a sense of vocality, and a sense of where you find that distinction between yourself and the infinite reality and absolute reality, and the ability to use your own dark matter, your ability to use your zero point creation as a way of using your electromagnetic kinetic source energies as a way of being more fanatical, more telepathic, but also you allow yourself to find that being overly excited is not necessarily a bad thing. But when we change it into a different direction and we're overly mad or overly depressed, or we're trying to figure all these things out and we actually do a lot of work without actually manifesting. So there's a fine balance between wanting to really be your own creation, wanting to be your own distinction, but also there's another thing where you can do a lot and then do so much less. So when you allow yourself to find that balance between work and play and connection and love and embracing, having appreciation and gratitude, but also being able to wake up in the morning for something, to find a transcendent reason to exist. And knowing that it's not that you are existing, it's the fact that your existence matters within the space time continuum in a very prophetic way, and initiating these different stories and timelines and themes so that you allow yourself to be the author of your own creation. So a lot of the time when we have messages, we don't know what we're going to say. We don't know how we're going to relay the message. And sometimes when we go about our life, we don't know what type of relationships we might manifest within ourselves. We may not know where to go in life. We may want to move somewhere else and we don't know where we're going to be in the next year. Sometimes within the subtle reminders of self remembrance, we see that the unknown unravels in a very big metaphysical buffet of creation. So sometimes we have to have the whole spread of life. And sometimes through all of the other sides of reality from different vantage points, from different perceptions, but also seeing it from all sides. You can't just be one sided in your own way. So sometimes it's not about what side are you on, it's the very fact that you're seeing it from all sides. And when you choose to see it from all sides, you allow yourself to go from a standpoint of seeing it not from your egoic filter, but having a container and a filter that allows you to change the perception, what you're feeding your spirit, what you're giving towards your time. So it also means that whatever is in your life that brings you the utmost joy and excitement and pleasure and passion, doesn't mean that they are inherently bad desires. So we can't promote the sense of like, oh, I do this one thing, I have a bad thought, I'm unenlightened. That's ridiculous. Or I watch this TV program that I know that has some weird stuff in it, but it's still trying to show me something. Or I know that I'm supposed to quit my job, but for some reason, that hesitation likes to creep in, and that little voice that wants to tell me that I'm not good enough tries to tell me that I'm not good enough. And then you get to a point you're like, fuck that little voice, right? You're kind of tired of the voice trying to tell you what to do. And then you find your own voice, but then you listen to spirit, God, source, energy, electricity, no matter what you call it. And then you listen to that because you are not playing the same hypnotic programming. You're not playing the same record. So, what's special about that is that you're giving to the tree of life instead of the tree of knowledge. And then you find that distinction of the purification that is in oneself that helps you not to be so closed in, that helps you to be more open. This means that you actually have your binoculars on. This means that there's a laser pointed focus in the way that you present yourself, in the way that you carry yourself, in the way that you change and grow within your everyday life. So, all of us have a reason to imbibe, change, and connect. The activation of transformation sometimes isn't inherently going to happen when you just want it or when you feel like it's convenient for you. And that's something that I've had to realize myself is that all of us have to be just a little patient. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of patience. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of breath, and there's nothing wrong with not taking the ego so seriously. You know, when we stop taking ourselves so seriously, then we don't take life so seriously, and we don't seriously wreck ourselves before we check ourselves. So it's kind of like whenever we are about to do something and we know in that moment that that's probably not a way to go about it, and maybe I went about it in the past in that way, but I know it's not going to be a help to everybody involved within the situation. Excuse me. So sometimes it's like, oh, I could tell my neighbor that they're doing something that really agitates me, that pisses me off, that they're overstepping their boundaries. But then sometimes you can go about it in a different way to where you can just contact the rental company or somebody else about this situation and not just put it in your own hands and see that when we're not creating division, we're creating connection and emotion in motion. So sometimes when we grow within being more accelerated, being more connected metaphysically, it gives us kind of clarity to kind of think about the things that we're going to do before we do them so that we're not just doing a bunch of shit randomly. So that we're not going about it in a way that's more chaotic, or that we're not attracting a karmic imbalance or a time loop within our reality that's not meant for us and going to unfold the portrait that we want. So sometimes it's not about getting what you want all at once, but sometimes it's seeing the things that you do have and appreciating that. So it's kind of like when we have deja vu, we've had every single experience that we've ever had within reality, whether we like to admit it or not. So sometimes we are at the precipice of making a choice that we can change our reality very drastically and very emphatically and very directly. So we're always at that precipice of making that choice of changing our reality, changing our tune, changing who we are. And another version of ourselves has made that choice already. So it's kind of like to not judge, to not ridicule, to not forcefully project a disdain for the things that you don't have is the same thing as putting so much energy into something and thinking that you just deserve it and that you want it, and then you don't get it, and then you're pissed off and upset about it. Well, it's the same distinction. It's the same thing with anything in your life. And sometimes certain things don't happen for a reason, you know? Sometimes we have this image of what we are, but then it turns into something else. It's like maybe you wanted to be an actor, but then you turned into a musician. And that's kind of like the shift that you took in your own life. And it's kind of like some of you could have been a musician and you did a lot of drinking and kind of like, well, I don't think I need to drink as much playing music anymore. So it's kind of like, I know those are crazy analogies, but when you really think of the grand scheme of things, it's kind of like um, just because I do something for a very long time doesn't mean that I can't change my routine or change my tune or change my perception. So it's kind of like the zest of life is to not abuse life and to not abuse yourself, not abuse who you are, not abuse the very fact that we have the tools and the gifts and the energy to manipulate the energy and the reality around us. So when some people hear that, they think that's like a sinister thing, and it's not. Everybody does it. Some people do it in negative ways, and some people do it in positive ways. So we can kind of nitpick and see what is like, oh, if you're watching the news all the time, or if you're listening to music and stuff like that, which I don't watch the news anymore, but I watch movies and I listen to music that maybe some people think that like, oh, you're watching that kind of movie or listening to that type of music. Oh, you're inviting that in. That's kind of like an ego trap. So when you think of the ego traps that we assume ourselves to be, everything is a representation. Rather, it is movie stars or politicians or people like Nikola Tesla who understood frequency and vibration. There are so many things that we don't know fully and have been stripped away from us from knowing. So it's kind of seeing that there are many different representations of source. And a representation of source could be an atheist. A representation of source could be someone who is a committed Christian. Uh, an example of source could be someone that finds the cure for cancer one day. So light workers are not just light workers in meditation, but it's all walks of life because we're all in the house and we are children of God, whether we like to admit it or not. So it's kind of like I think the struggle within the conviction of our faith is that you have to really be committed to something or devoted to something to have faith or to be convicted or to really change or to really open up. So sometimes that's the struggle, that's the stress, that's the compression that's on your chest, is to lift the weight off and to know that the greatest gift that you can ever be given is the weight that is lifted off of your chest and off of your shoulders. Of trying to be this assumption of a human in a reality, or lost in a memory, or lost in a reminiscence of a memory instead of the essence of the moment itself. So, and that's why I've been doing a lot of different things recently because I've been wanting to really explore the things that I see and watch and hear and learn about and experience life as a whole, or doing chores, or just taking care of the dog, or feeding the dog, or simple things like that. So sometimes we don't know what will happen in life. We generally don't. And because we generally don't know what's going to happen, that's what generates fear, and that's what generates a sense of a lack of creation. So that's why I used to just do meditations all the time because I did healing so much, and now I've come back to healing because I embrace my guides and higher self and other things, other downloads and frequencies. Hello, how are you? So what's important is to be yourself, is to know that it's okay, and it's okay to be zen, it's okay to be comfortable in your divine skin. It's okay to see yourself in victory and winning. Um, you know, it's life. It just is what it is sometimes. So we have to live. I think we just get to live. And I think that's the gift, or that's the object, or that's the understanding of where we are or who we are, in a sense. So, allowance, purification, creation, inclusion is exclusion, my friends. Once we include something, we're excluding something else. And when we sit outside and it's like 95 degrees outside and we're in the shade and we're sweating, even doing this live, that's dedication too. But sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is let yourself off the hook. Forgiveness of your past transgressions, and knowing that we're never the same person as we were, as we are the person that we are now. So just live this new experience, live this new connection, and live this new life that's been given. And just be that. And I just realized I forgot to post a movie review, but I'm going to do that after I get off of here. But we're going to do some healing energy. I'm your host, White Wolf. We are doing a new private session special, 45 minutes for $75, and also around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be doing readings, healings, activations. I hope to see you guys there. So if you want to connect into spirit guides, spirit animals at this moment in time, and energetic healing, that's what we're going to be doing right now. Activate the state of Zen, the state of Shambhala, the state of Nirvana, the state of enlightenment, and the state of discernment within this creation. To seek the dream to be an observer, but also to be a waymaker, a grid worker, and a discernment and a truth seeker, and as a way of creation. To feel this energy and presence of God, to feel this emulation, to feel this connection, and to embrace the raven's wisdom, strength, authority, violet flame, and connect into the shapeshifter of creation. Connect into what makes you magnetic, electric, and have a fiery flame of passion, desire, and glory. Connecting to Archangel Michael's wisdom of maturity, safety, security, and protection, and a willful demonstration of strength. Archangel Ezekiel is going to help us with imagination, connection, and the inner child. Archangel Shmuel is going to help us connect into being studious, to be a better listener and learner, to learn other languages, and to imbibe languages of light. Merlin is going to help us use the esoteric images, teachings, and representations of source energy to be more connected into divine alchemy and divine magic. Abracadabra, what we speak into awareness is our words and our emotion in motion and our state of connection to be intersecting with being interwoven with timelines, realities, and absolute realities beyond space and times, connected to the monad, the I am presence. So as I do these other mudras, these other hand symbols, these other states of energy that I'm channeling from my palms, we see that we develop the sense of being the pyramid of creation. What is significant about the pyramid of creation, because it is the temple of God. being the existence of God, the emulation of God, in the existence that you want to represent with an everyday connection. So this means that you're able to manipulate the energy around you in reality and the space-time continuum itself, the absence of time. The ability to mold and morph and reshape your development, your love, your wisdom, and your connection to Christ consciousness. To have a loving embrace of all knowledge, but to eat from the tree of life instead of the tree of knowledge. To be the breath that initiates the state of generating a different bandwidth of energy. So that the energy is not stiff and the energy is out in the open, and the energy encapsulates a way to put everything that you don't want in a ball of energy and sending it back to the sun. So this is inner separation to release segregation, withholding, resistance, disconnection. To feel this innate wisdom and this innate power is to honor that power, that wisdom, and that glory within everything, within everyone, and within everything that you do, speak, and say. So, be yourself in this moment. Know that it's okay. Know that you are Zen, prophecy, nirvana, Shambhala, enlightenment, Holy Spirited flow. No matter how you describe it, no matter what you put into the burrito of consciousness, it's still a fucking burrito, right? You still feel the power. You still feel the wisdom. It might have sour cream, beans, whatever it may be, but it's still the web of consciousness, the great I am, the Shekinah glory of God's source energy, the existence of the inherent wisdom of all that there is. And all of us just do different aspects of that. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. When we allow ourselves to open up a state of wisdom, a state of connection, you open up to a state to which you can be free and connected and a part of something. So when you are a part of the universe, the collective at large, you choose to embrace the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom in every way. So this means that we are the source fields of creation, a source code, a vibration of I am that helps us keep everything in balance, in resonance, and connected to the prophecies being foretold. To be storytellers, to be dreamers, to be inventions, to be new migrations, new policies of divine law and divine will, to initiate a deeper sense of freedom, love, and longing for a new day, to know that it's okay, you got this. Be your own kind of Zen that's the same kind of different as me, as I, as am, and as connection to God, to one, to love, and for all. Everybody take one last deep breath. Exhale, initiating the sonic boom of creation, the existence of the absolute, the wisdom of the unseen, and the wisdom of the blessed indeed. So that was the live for today. Thank you guys for connecting with me. It's always a pleasure. And I'm going to be putting a movie review. I watched a movie last night called Stalker. And I've posted other movie reviews, so if you want to check out those movies, they're really, really awesome. I have a private session special, 45 minutes for $75. Around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing readings, healings, activations. Thank you for that. And just post what you want. Be yourself. You got this. Be your own kind of Zen. Be your own kind of connection. That's the only way that you're going to live through this. Yeah, I know. I had one today. That's why I used that example. And it still is. It's just ingredients of source, ingredients of vibration. And from that standpoint, you can just still be that. And it doesn't matter how you dress it. It's yours to play with it as you will. So thank you guys. God bless. 727-404-6559 to contact me for an appointment. Follow me on TikTok and things of that nature. So, and also if I follow you on TikTok, that's just to see if you're wanting to book private sessions and things of that nature. But thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the videos that I post daily. I've been posting different videos, so I hope that you guys enjoy those. And just be yourself, and much love and light to you all. Thank you. God bless.